sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward.
So welcome everybody and hello.
How do you stand it? What you need to do is be that person that's different and it's bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes.
Watching on the recording, you've missed 15, 20 minutes of a lot of different topics. Guys, these calls are great. I love having you on. Hopefully you're watching replays if you can't be on live. But if you can, try and show up once in a while because we do some Q&A that could be helpful for you and your business. I'm just saying, try and show up when you can. On that note, over the last couple of days, and this kind of dovetails into what I was talking about a little bit earlier today, guys, there's so much potential with you, your business, your skill set, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do. It's there. And I think a lot of times our frustration is geared towards, the current product that I'm selling or the platform, be it Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or whatever that I'm doing, or it's my business, my boss, this or that. When what we need to do is look in the mirror and recognize that a lot of the frustration should be geared towards us, and not in a, hey, Andrew, you're a loser kind of way, but damn son, be patient, get to work and keep going because you've got the capability of doing it, of accomplishing it. Just keep moving, right? And so there's a great book. If you haven't read it yet, go out and read it, watch some of the videos, but it's a book called Limitless by Jim Quick. Now, I mentioned, this came into my mind this morning because I mentioned the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper yesterday. I love that movie. There's a TV show that goes with it, but I love it just because it talks about our brains and potential and what could happen if you tap into the inner workings and what you're really capable of. Now, Limitless, he talks about, his story is pretty fantastic. He was injured as a kid, had a brain injury, was known as the kid with the brain problem, and decided that he wanted to overcome that. And so I'll let you guys study a little bit about his kind of background. Now, Quick is Kwik, incredibly intelligent dude. He's now world renowned in the memory department, speed reading, just mind and mind training. He speaks with hundreds of thousands of people live in keynote speeches around the world every year. He's got millions of followers across all of his platforms, or at least his videos reach millions of people in that way. But there's three key things that he talks about in his book, Limitless. So to be limitless, there's three key elements. There's the what, the why, and the how, the mindset, the motivation, and the methods. So he's got an awesome quote. I'm going to give you these slides later on. So I'm just going to read this quote to you. He says, "We all have vast potential inside of us, untapped levels of strength, intelligence, and focus. And the key to activating these superpowers is unlimiting yourself. No matter where you come from, no matter what challenges you face, you have incredible potential that's just waiting to be tapped. Every person, regardless of age, background, education, gender, or personal history, can advance beyond what they believe they deserve and is possible." Now, I want you guys, everybody, real quick to think about someone that you know that's overcome some incredible odds, whether it's their background, maybe it's a physical problem that they've been through, maybe it's illness that they've overcome, maybe it's their family history, whatever. Can everybody imagine one person like that? Someone that you know, someone you've met? So for me, when I think about that, the very first person I think about is Shawn Stevenson, and I've shared him with you guys. Anybody remember Shawn Stevenson? So if you don't, I'm going to look him up so you guys can see a picture of him. So Shawn Stevenson was... one of his names was kind of the 3-foot giant. Let me show you this great picture of Shawn. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Shawn Stevenson here. Can you guys see this picture? Shawn was known as the 3-foot giant. Shawn was a man who was born with a disease that caused brittle bones. And so by the time he was 18, he'd had 200 bone breaks. His muscles were stronger than his bone was. So he didn't grow beyond that 3 foot. And the only way he was able to get around was wheelchair or, a backpack. Someone would carry him around like those two ways. Now, if he's in his house, he'd kind of scoot around on the floor, but that was about it. He had problems with his skull, with his mouth, his teeth and everything. He wasn't a midget. It was a totally different thing. So he wasn't a little person. It was a totally different sickness he had. So his bones, it's not that they wouldn't grow, is that they were too brittle. So as they grew, they would break. And so they just never got past a certain point. Shawn was an amazing individual, though. He went, he ended up going and getting his doctorate, nothing wrong with his brain. Highly intelligent dude. He was an intern at the White House. He had his own TV show for a while. He wrote a book on how to pick up women that was a bestseller. He spoke on stages around the world. He married an amazing and beautiful woman. And so anyway, he overcame a lot. Now I want you to, think about that individual. So Les Brown, maybe it's Shawn, maybe it's somebody else, right? There's all of these different people, and like I've told the story of Iron Cowboy, and he was talking about how when he was scaling Kilimanjaro and came upon people and they were all veterans that had lost a limb or something, scaling Kilimanjaro. Like there's people all over the world that have overcome. And yet we sit around and we tell ourselves these excuses about posting on Facebook or finding in the extra 10 minutes it would take to do that. Or I'm pressing on this link and this isn't working. And oh my gosh, the whole thing is guys, we can overcome. But what happens are these three things here within what Jim's talking about, the mindset, the motivation, and the method. So there's these three self-imposed limits that you have. If you're struggling, it's because of, honestly, it's probably one of these three things. The first one is the mindset. That's the what. So this is your beliefs, your assumptions, your attitudes. None of them come about at birth. They're all instilled afterwards. You have picked them up throughout your life, and more than likely they are a lie. And what he's talking about here is a limited idea that you entertained. It's something that you've entertained that's become a truth, even though it's a lie. The more that you believe you're going to struggle with something, the more that you assume that it's not for you, the more that you get yourself frustrated and angry or, create that drama in your life, the more that it becomes your reality. That's why mindset is so important. Now, the why is your motivation. He talks about this inside his book. I'm going to let you get into it. The S3, I'm not even going to touch on it because I want you guys to study it, but you can create the personal motivation. The thing is, it does need to happen each day, but this is the purpose, the energy, and then the extra parts of it. So that motivation, go find this equation. Write it down and look it up. Motivation equals purpose times energy times S3. And then if you add in Jim Quick, it'll pop up exactly what this is. Okay. So do this every day. Get yourself in the right place every day if you need it. And if you're frustrated, go for a walk, come back and do it again. This is why that vision board is important. This is why those goals are important. Sitting down, looking at, writing out that goal that's so big, changing the world, whatever it is, in a way that you don't think you're going to really truthfully be able to accomplish it. But damn it, I'm going to go after every single element that's there. It's just so big. I'm going to do everything I can, right? So that motivation. And then the methods, procedures and processes, which are going to help your brain excel, that are going to help your body excel, your body tapped into your brain, same thing there, right? Learn how to focus, learn how to study, learn how to memorize, learn how to read, and learn how to think. Guys, I'll give you these slides. I'll drop it into the Skype group. But it is an amazing thing, the human body. And our brains are and can be even more exceptional. But you've got to go out and do it. Yeah, Nick Sanatanastaso, I think that's how, he's pretty phenomenal as well. Scott, thanks for sharing that article. If you wanted, Scott, you drop that into Skype. That'd be great. Drop that link in there. Somebody's achieved it, guys. And somebody's overcome more than you have. You may struggle, which is real. You've all got your struggles. We all do. somebody's overcome more. And that should be heartening. Instead of getting frustrated and saying, why can they overcome it and I can't? You should look at that and say, damn it, if they can do it, I can. If they can approach life with that attitude, I can. It doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect for you. It doesn't mean that they don't struggle too, because trust me, they get up and have days where they don't want to get out of bed or they don't want to deal with things. They have those rainy days where they just go, you know what, today'd be a great day to curl up under the blanket and just relax. And they still go get it done. Just do it. Okay, get after it. Become limitless. Because ultimately you are. If there's limits there on your life right now, it's simply because you've closed them there and you haven't recognized them.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized that. Just go forward. So what do you need to do?
Go out.
How do you stand out?
So what you need to do is be that person that's different.
And it's bigger than you think.
On that note,
Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix that you are.
And there we go.